Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and also welcome to a new tutorial. So in this new tutorial, I'll be making this cinched or pleated waist jumpsuit. So if this is what you would love to see, just keep on watching, and without wasting so much of our time, let's get right into the tutorial. So this is the fabric I'll be using for this tutorial, and I have gone ahead to measure my length, my jumpsuit length, which is my full body measurement on the fabric, and I also measured my half length measurement, which is 17 inches. As you can see, I've ruled a straight line. Then from that, my waistline, I have also measured my crotch line. So my crotch line is my hip divided by 4, which is 11 inches. Then I added extra 2 inches to the crotch, to the hip divided by 4. So that gave me my crotch line. So if you want more heels, you can add extra 3 inches to what you get after dividing your hip measurement. So I've also gone ahead to make a straight line to indicate my crotch line. So you can see the straight line I have at the beginning of the fabric. I measured 3 inches from from the edge of the fabric to get that. I'll be explaining what we are going to be needing that particular allowance for. That we just save as the start point of where we'll be taking all our measurements. So you can see the starting line. So this is a cut together with sleeve kind of jumpsuit. So you can see that I have 3 inches extra extension in front. You can see, so that is compulsory for this jumpsuit. You can see that the jumpsuit doesn't have half length. It's everything is cut together. So from that, my starting line, I would measure my shoulder to sleeve, the exact place I want my sleeve to stop, which is 19 inches, depending on how long you want the sleeve to look. So that is what will determine where you are going to stop taking the measurements. So I actually used 19 inches from my shoulder, I measured from the midline of my neckline to the part of my sleeve where I want my measurement to stop. So you can see I'm just trying to show you what we have on the fabric. I think this particular video is showing more of the fabric than the other one. So from that edge I measured where I want my sleeve to stop, which is 19 inches. So I'll be marking that. After measuring the 19 inches, I came down by 1.5 inch for my shoulder slant. Then I'll be connecting that into my neckline. I'll be connecting that into my neckline like so. So you can see what I have after connecting that, the shoulder slant to my neckline. So you can see my neckline is 4 inches width. I'll be using 4 inches width for the neckline. You can do as low as 3 or 2.5 inches depending on what you want. Then 4 inches width by 1.5 inches depth. So I connect that into a straight line. That is what I will be using for my back neckline. So that is where I stopped connecting my shoulder slope. You can see it actually stopped on the neck width, not on the straight line. Just ignore that, not on the straight line. I stopped measuring my shoulder slope on the neckline with a straight line like so. So that is our shoulder slant. So I will also measure the front neckline, which is a V neckline. I used 9 inches for the length of the V neckline. From we also have 4 inches for the width. We are using same width for both back and front. So I'll measure 9 inches for the length of my V neck. If you do not want your cleavage to show at any point, you can use 8 inches or 7 inches for the width of your, for the length of your v-neck. So I'm trying to make the shoulder slant more visible right there. So the next thing I'll be doing is to measure half inch from the 3 inches extension we have in the front. Half inch, that is what we are going to be joining the jumpsuit at the center. I said it the other time that this jumpsuit doesn't have a half length, so this is what we are going to be using to join the jumpsuit together at the middle part. So that is half inch I am adding to the center part. So after adding it, I'm going to add it straight down to the length of the jumpsuit. So after that, the next thing I'll be doing is to get my arm opening, that is where my arm will come out from this dress. So my arm opening, I'll be using 11.5 inches for my arm opening. You can decide that this is not a fitted arm, so you can just add like extra 3 or 4 inches to whatever you have on your arm circumference. So I'll be using 11.5 inches for my arm opening. Then thereafter I'll be taking my waist measurement. My actual waist measurement is 8.5 inches. My actual waist measurement is 8.5 inches. But this jumpsuit has pleats. So you have to indicate the number of pleats. You have to add the extra allowances you are going to be using for your pleats to the waistline. I don't know if that makes sense. If you are going to be adding 3 pleats, you have to quantify the inches you are going to be using for that plate and add it to your measurement. So right here I use 16 inches for the waist measurement. So my actual waist measurement is 8.5 inches. So I added extra, so I later reduced it to 14 inches. I later reduced my waistline to 14 inches. So I added extra 6 inches allowance to my waist measurement. So I just calculated the number of pleats I wanted. I wanted 4 pleats, and I am going to be sewing just 1 inch for each pleat. So that means I needed extra 6 inches for my pleat. So you can just calculate the size of pleat you are going to be sewing on your fabric, and how bold you want the pleat, and the distance you are going to be keeping in between each plate. So I just measured that 14 inches straight down to the hem of the jumpsuit. This jumpsuit does not have any form of shape or hip shape or nor any form of shape. So it's that same 14 inches I measured on the waistline that I measured straight to the hem of the jumpsuit. So you can see what we have after taking all of those measurements. That is my waistline of 14 inches. You can see what we have right there on the waistline. Then you can see the crotch line. You can see that I already made a curve on the crotch line. So I just measured out 14 inches straight down. Then I connected a straight line from my crotch line to the 3 inches starting point we have on the jumpsuit at the center part. So this is what we have on the fabric. I hope this is clear for you to see very well. So I'll be cutting this out now. The first part I'll be cutting is the front neckline, so that I can use this to cut my back piece before removing the back and the front neckline. So if you have watched my video to this level, please do well to subscribe to the channel, and please don't forget to turn on your notification button so that whenever I put up a new video, you'll be first to be notified. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. This will actually promotes my video and tell YouTube algorithm to push my videos. So I have also folded, after cutting the front piece, I have gone ahead to fold another piece of fabric for our back piece, but this time around the fabric has excess of 3 inches, 3 extra inches excess at the crotch area. You can see I have 3 inches excess right there, so I'll be adding 3 inches to that area, to the crotch area right there. Then I'll be adding 1.5 inches straight down to the hem of the jumpsuit. If you have been following my channel, you would know that I always add 1.5 extra inches to my trouser pattern. So this is just basically like trouser pattern. So I added 1.5 inch for joining straight down from the after the crotch. The only part I added extra 3 inches so that the bum can relax well is the crotch area. Every other part I added extra 1.5 inches for stitching allowance. Though without adding that, we are still going to get a good fit because this is a free jumpsuit. So I just added extra 1.5 inches straight down to the hem of the jumpsuit. So I have not cut out the front neckline. So the back neckline is what we still have right there. So I'm still going to be using that to cut out my back pattern. So after cutting the back, I will cut out the front neckline. I also have a video on how to make a trouser and a top on this channel. If you have not watched it, please go ahead to watch it. The moment you can make a perfect trouser, to make this type of outfits won't be difficult, because I think that is the basic knowledge you actually need to achieve in trousers, so that you can make anything that has to do with trouser. I'll put the link in my description box for you to watch the video. So we are done cutting both the back and front piece. So I can now remove my front neckline, my front V neckline, after cutting the back piece. So this is what we have after removing the V neckline. So the next thing to do is to cut facing for the neckline. I folded a piece of fabric to cut facing for my back neckline first. So you can see what we have right there. So I'm just going to curve that down part so that I can have a curvy shape on the down part of the facing. So the next thing I'll be doing is also to cut facing for the V front neckline. I've also folded a piece of fabric to cut out a small facing for the neckline so that we can have a neat finishing both on the front and back neckline. So the next thing I'll be doing is to put a notch on my waistline so that this will serve as a guideline whenever I'm ready to take my pleats, and also to join the two piece together, both the back and front. So this will serve as a guideline for me whenever I am sewing, so that it will indicate where the waistline is, especially on the side where there is no any form of rule, where there is no any form of mark. So I can know where my plate is starting from and stopping. So I'll also repeat the same thing on the back piece to get my waistline notched so that I can have a guideline whenever I am ready to start pleating the waistline. So the next thing I'll be doing is to make a straight line on the waistline to connect the two notches together. So that will give me a demarcation as to where I'll be starting my pleat. So this is what I have on the waistline. I have ruled the I've ruled the 4 pieces both back and front. I've made that straight line on the waist. So I'm just trying to decide the length of my pleats. So I decided to have 3 inches downward, 3 inches upward, which will give a total of 6 inches length of pleats. So I measured 3.5 inches inward on the jumpsuit So that is where my first pleat will start. Then I will be sewing just half an inch. Then I'll be after the first pleat, I'll be keeping a distance of 1 inch. Then I'll make another stitch. So that is just what I am trying to rule out. Then that is my 3 inches length for each pleat. So this is what I'll be doing on all the 4 pieces of the jumpsuit, so as to tuck in the excesses we have around the waistline. So I'm just keeping the distance of 1 inch in between each pleat. 1 inch in between each pleat before I sew in another pleat. I'll be sewing half an inch, then I'll be keeping a distance of 1 inch between each pleat. So I did 4 pleats. So you can see my lines, the pleats of my lines. Each strokes indicates where the pleats will stay, where my pleats will start from. So you can see the first line, that is where I'll be holding the first pleat. So between that line to the other line is 2 inches distance. Don't forget, I'll be holding in half an inch on each side. So that is 1 inch, that then 1 inch pleat, then I kept 1 inch extra in between. So that is a total of 2 inches. So after that, you can see I've sewn down the pleats. On the waistline. I've sewn down the half an inch pleats on the waistline. So I have four pleats on each side. So I have four pleats on each side. Then I've also gone ahead to sew down my facing. Then I also sewed half an inch on the crotch line, just to join the two front piece together. So that is my facing. Sewing facing is very easy. So we can see what we have on the right side of the jumpsuits. So this same process is what we are going to be repeating for the back piece. You can see what we have. You can see the distance. You can see the pleats, how beautiful it is laying. You can see I have also ironed it. So this is my back piece. I have also repeated the same process on the waistline. You can see what we have after sewing down the pleats, and also after sewing joining the two center piece together. So the next thing I'll be doing is to join the shoulder, both front and back, just to join. You can see the half inch we gave the center piece the other time. So the half inch is what we use to join the front piece. Then is what we are going to be using as our zipper allowance for the back piece. Don't forget the back, we have zipper at the back, so that it can be easy to wear. So we are going to be joining our shoulder together. You can see one right side facing the right side. Then I'm just going to turn the shoulder with the facing, so that we can have a neat finishing right there. You can see how I turn the two facing to the other side. So we're just going to sew down that part, and when we turn it out, the shoulder will be neatly finished. So this is what we are going to be repeating for the other shoulder of the dress. So after joining the shoulder, let me show you what we have. You can see what we have. You can see how neatly finished this is looking. So the next thing I am going to be doing is to fold in, to hem in my sleeve opening. So I'll just be folding half an inch on that side. Then I've also gone ahead to hem the down part of the jumpsuit. So you can see what we have. After that, after hemming, I'm just going to take 1 inch seam allowance straight down on the jumpsuit. I'll just, you can sew in 1 inch or half inch on the body of the jumpsuit, but I took in 1 inch allowance straight down from the sleeve opening right down to the hem of the jumpsuit. So you can see what we have. After doing all of that, I went ahead to give it a good press. You can see how beautiful the jumpsuit is looking. So guys, we have come to the end of this tutorial. Thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit on the notification button so that whenever I upload a new video, you get to be notified. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, like and share this video. Thank you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in my next video. Bye bye.